I'm not sure if you guys have heard yet. Uh, Mark Meadows. There were some information he shared with I think it's a committee that's been charged to investigate January the 6th insurrection. And they've got all these texts from people that were basically besieged in the building, giving like a timeline of Trump needs to do something. He needs to stop this. Um, there's a standoff at the front door right before that woman got killed. Um, Talking about a whole bunch of stuff, and even Tucker Carlson texted him at some point and said, "Hey, you need to stop this." And for me, it's a little different. I look at it a little different. Most people might. Because I talk often about how I believe a lot of this right wing stuff is bullshit. It's like Don Bongino in this whole thing now where he wants to, I guess, go to another station he's dealing with on the radio because he doesn't agree with the vaccine mandate, even though he's vaccinated. I believe all these right wingers have been vaccinated. I believe all these right wingers wear masks behind the camera. I think that just like back in January with the insurrection, it's a game. It's a game. It's like throwing red meat to a bunch of dogs. I don't eat the red meat. No man drinks blood. No man eats raw meat. But I'll give it to my dogs. I know they like it. And it's cheap. Yeah. I ain't gotta cook it. I think that seeing that brought it home to me. People talked about the Ashley Babbitt shooting and how it was a murder and all that stuff. And, that's bullshit to me because of the fact that on the video, they're warning her and warning her and warning her. The guys bust out the window. Then she climbs in the window. She was getting in the window when they shot her. The cop didn't put his arm out there and shoot her and she's in the crowd. Like, you have to, when right wingers make this aggrievement stuff, you have to follow this. This is what I follow, not culture war crap. This was a woman who flew all the way across the country. She was an Air Force veteran. It's not a girl. This is a woman. And she chose to play a game with Secret Service staff, and she found out them guns ain't for show and tell. Ain't the man that shot her was a hero. But more importantly, her life, she's an agitprop. She didn't have to die. Trump could have done something about this. But according to the texts and other information we know now, Trump was watching this. This stuff went on for hours, and he knew about it, and he did nothing to stop it. That's what's important. That's what matters. He did nothing to stop this. When they were out there screaming, hang Mike Pence, he knew this. And I'm listening to this Ted Rawl gentleman on Fault Lines talk about it. And I'm thinking to myself, I wonder what kids are going to say 20 years from now when they look at this. Like I talk often about Nixon's hard hat riots, right? That you had the guys come up there beating protesters and the police did nothing. There were several times back then where the police, NYPD, they were just saying, I don't see nothing. Yeah. I wonder if that's how they're going to see this. That you had a president sit up on stage. This is not law. This is just, I'm just laying out how it is. I'm not basing it off of, well, legally they can't do this. I'm talking about morals here. This is a moral discussion. You had a president and his advisor, attorney, so much people Trump had around him didn't have posts. He just had people around him. Sidney Powell, I don't know what she was, The president, Rudy Giuliani, stood up there and egged on the crowd. And they went and tore the place up. They sieged the building. They hung nooses. They planted bombs in the RNC and DNC building, and I think the person done that won't even see prison for that. And you had the right wing come out and say they believe that the left did this, that Antifa did this, that and a huge portion of this country still believes that. It's important to understand that the whole big part of this country believes that Antifa dressed up like a bunch of rednecks, ran on the Capitol, hung nooses, wore shirts that said Civil War, planted bombs, and threatened to take hostages from Democratic leadership. And then, and that the left did this after our side won the election? Doesn't make sense. I wonder about that. With all the information coming out, how will young people see this? How will the future be told? Because every time I look at it, and it gets worse and worse the more you look at the research, this was an attempted coup. I'm hearing that there were memos where Trump was talking about national security stuff, declared emergency. This was a coup. I'm not gonna say it was Russia or China. I'm not gonna say who, what, did what. This is a coup. This is an organized coup to destabilize our government, to take hostages, and to kill people. This wasn't a bunch of rednecks and a crowd yelling and screaming. This is an organized plot. And it bothers me that it seems like even now, maybe society doesn't recognize the significance of this. Remember, when the Nazis did what they did, it wasn't the first time, it was the second time when they took power. The first time the police shot at them. And Hitler did 8 months in prison or something, I think. Once folks got shot. It's important. I understand maybe several news stations and these agencies have taken it too far. But it's important to understand this was like 9/11. 9/11 wasn't just bad because of loss of life. It was bad because it changed a concept of who we were as Americans and where we stand with the rest of the world. And the same thing with January the 6th. That changed America. That changed the way we see ourselves. Thanks for listening.